Hi there, Prairie Plant Girl here. Today I'm going to be sprouting my Gladiolus and Crocosmia. So this is that time of year. I'm at April 12th, I believe now, so about 4 weeks before my average last frost. And it's time that I want to get any of my summer flowering bulbs going, started, so that they're ready and flowering for me in the summer, nice and early. You could also do your Acidanthera. I don't actually think I have it here. I'm gonna have to find my Acidanthera. I wonder where it is. Anyway, when I find my Acidanthera, I'm gonna be doing the exact same thing with it. I forgot about it when I gathered up my bulbs. But anyways, I just wanna make sure that I get all of these things pre-spreaded. So I've already started my dahlias, my cannas, my begonias. If you have anything like that still left in storage or that you've picked up at the store, now is a great time to get it started and pre-sprouted indoors. So your begonias and your dahlias and your cannas should all be started indoors where it's nice and warm. Your Crocosmia, Acidanthera, and Gladiolus can actually be sprouted if you have a protected space like a greenhouse like I do. You can start those in those spaces. And I know for sure your Gladiolus, as soon as the ground can be worked, can be planted out in that soil as long as it's not soggy wet still from the spring rains or snow melts. I've never tried to do my Crocosmia and my Acidanthera that way, but I suspect you could probably also just directly plant it outside as long as your ground is workable and not too wet this time of year. It's always kind of a hit and miss here in Saskatchewan, Canada, but where you live, it might be just perfect. So, and not everyone needs to have these bulbs stored over the winter. So if you're a lucky person who lives in a warmer climate, I'm in Saskatchewan, Canada, so they just changed my growing zone to a zone 4, but I still garden for a zone 3. A lot of these things can be grown and overwintered in warmer climates, like starting around zone 6, 7, 8, just depending on which bulb, corm, tuber, which plant you're talking about. So just check your hardiness for those and where you live, and you might be able to just leave yours in the ground all the time. But I can't. So today I'm going to be pre-sprouting them. I like to do the pre-sprouting. It's not something you have to do, but I have a short growing season, about 110 frost-free days. So I like to get things started inside a little bit earlier, just to help get my growing season a little jump start. So this is Crocosmia. They're just little corms. This one has started to split, I think. Oh no, it just has lots of extra skin. So you don't need to take this extra skin off, but that's what it looks like when you do. And you can see where some of the old sprouts were coming out last year. And so obviously where the old sprouts were last year, that's the top, and down here you can see there's the roots. It's usually kind of dented in a little bit, so you want to put that part down. Really, bulbs will find their way. The roots will go down, the sprouts will go up. It just might take longer and use more energy out of the bulb or the corm or whatever you're planting. But if you really don't know and you're not sure, just put it on its side and it'll figure it out. So I'm just going to be taking my corms, and I have little trays of soil. And now if you are a little heavy-handed with watering, you might want to get some trays with drainage. I've just grabbed some old meat trays with no drainage, and I have just nice damp, it's not wet, but it's damp soil. And all I'm going to be doing is just setting these in the trays. And I'm going to be setting them pretty close together. So almost touching, but not touching. And I'm just going to line this tray and get it as full as I can. And I have little tags. So this that I grabbed was Sunglow Crocosmia. So I have little tags here to put in there so I know which ones they are when I go to take them out later. All this is doing is I'm just letting them get some roots and some shoots going right now. And then when it's time and it's warm enough to get them outside and I'm ready to put them in pots or the ground or wherever I'm going to put them, I can just dump this whole mass out, break it apart. I'll break some roots, that's fine. Then I can just plant them, and they're already started. They're going to be a few weeks to a month ahead. I actually think with these little corms, I should have put a little more soil in here, so I'm going to fill this up closer to the top, And then I will start with these over again. There. That'll just give them a few more inches of space for those roots to go. So now let me pop them back in there. The tags in, and I'm just going to keep going through until this tray is full. And if I can, I'll probably be able to fit, I have two kinds of Crocosmia here, Sunglow and Emily McKenzie. Yeah, Emily McKenzie. So I will probably be able to fit them both in this tray, even though I have probably a couple dozen of each. And then I'm going to do my begonias. And begonias can range in size from these big, nice old begonia like this to a smaller one. This would have been one that was grown as a little baby several years ago and has developed into a little bit larger corm here. Or they could be different varieties as well, but I'm losing the babies. But they're fine. So you can either peel all these little babies off and just plant them up separately, or you can leave them on like this. It's just fine. And you just will do the exact same thing. Just set them down in the tray. I'm not even going to worry about like burying the tops of them, especially those big ones, and then you can just fit the little guys around them. So not quite touching, but very close. I won't be starting all of my Gladiolus right now because I like to start them a couple of weeks apart in groupings, and that way I have blooms for a little bit longer with the Gladiolus, and I have lots of them, so that's how I like to do them. So if you have quite a few Gladiolus, you might want to spread out and, you know, plant some now, plant some in 2 weeks, and if you still have more, in 2 weeks again, just to spread out that bloom time just that little bit longer. That's what I'm going to be doing today. So I'm going to bring you along. I'll show you what the trays look like when they're done, but it won't take much to do this. And then I have to see if I can find my Acidanthera. I really wonder what I did with it. It's got to be somewhere. So I'll find it, and I'll be doing the same thing with that. So let's get the rest of this Crocosmia going here. You can see I just store them in the little mesh bags, and they just hang somewhere dry and cool, and that's where they just stay over the winter. So I just have them in the basement under stairs, just hung up in the bags. So you can see I'm not taking the little extra skins off. That was just to kind of try and show you the parts. If they have a lot of old roots stuck on, sometimes I'll trim those off just so they don't have a bunch of organic matter under the soil looking to rot on me. Like here's the big old roots. I just give it a yank off. You don't have to, but I don't know, it just makes me feel better. They won't use those roots, they're done. So some of these really tiny little Crocosmia corms here, those would have been little offshoots, and that's how they multiply. So it would have been one that came off of a more mature corm, and this will probably just produce stems this year and not flowers. But if you just keep planting it, it'll get big enough to get you some flowers. You know, I'm not even sure, I don't really mark it down or anything, so I'm not sure how many years it takes, but I think within a year or two you probably get flowers. It'll be more like this size. Let me see the difference here. Maybe it's hard to show. There's the two of them side by side. So once it gets to around this size, that's more when you're going to get your flowers. You see when they multiply, they kind of double up. So this is 2 right here. You just pull them apart, and now you'll have 2 to grow. That took up more space in this tray than I thought, so I'm not sure I actually will have room. I think I'll just start a new tray for the Emily McKenzie. Here's the Emily McKenzie. There might be more of these than there was of the Sunglow. And I just keep these tags from year to year, and I can reuse them. So these 3 were stuck together, so I'm just separating them out. This one's a big root that's not letting it sit down nice. Good thing I decided to start another tray because these are definitely filling up this tray. Okay, get the tags in so I know which variety this is. And there, they'll send some roots down. So I didn't count these, but there's got to be several dozen there. Okay, and then the begonias. So I'm just gonna pick random begonias out of here, not begonias, gladiolus, and just stick them in. And like I said, in 2 weeks, I'll do the same thing again. And I just have mine mixed up. Several varieties. 2, 4, 6, 8. So I just have a mixture of gladiolus, so they're done. And then I have a few more to do another time. So I have my trays of glads and my Crocosmia done up. Now I need to find that Acidanthera and get it done. And then I will have all of my all of my summer flowering bulbs starting to sprout and get ready for the growing season. So thanks for coming along and watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.